The Monolith. Andy was a quiet man in his 30s who lived in the small town of Newfield, nestled in the foothills of a thick, ancient forest. He loved mountain biking, especially on the winding, hidden trails that crisscrossed the forest just beyond town. Every weekend, rain or shine, he'd spend hours cutting through the dense trees, navigating tricky inclines and twists that only someone as familiar as he was could master. One misty autumn morning, Andy set out on his usual ride. The leaves had started to turn, painting the forest in fiery oranges and deep reds, while a low fog settled among the trees. The air was damp and cool, the scent of pine mingling with the earthy smell of wet leaves. The forest seemed quieter than usual, the usual sounds of rustling leaves and distant birds muted. As he pedaled deeper into the woods, Andy noticed something strange up ahead, a gleam of metal that didn't belong in the forest. Intrigued, he slowed down, hopping off his bike to get a closer look. There, nestled between two ancient pines, stood a monolith. The structure was about 10 feet tall, sleek and metallic, with edges so sharp they almost seemed to slice through the air. Its surface was smooth and reflective, capturing the dim forest light in an otherworldly way. Andy had ridden this trail countless times, yet he had never seen anything like it here before. No one from town would have built something like this in the middle of nowhere. There were no markings, no signs of construction, not even a path that led directly to it. He approached slowly, curiosity mixing with unease. As he drew nearer, he could feel an odd hum emanating from it, a subtle vibration, almost like a distant frequency he could feel in his bones more than he could hear. He reached out to touch the cool metal, and for a brief moment, he felt a strange warmth under his fingertips, as though the monolith was alive, pulsing with some mysterious energy. Suddenly, the fog around him thickened, and the forest seemed to close in, growing eerily silent. It was as if the world had paused, holding its breath. Andy stepped back, heart pounding, unsure whether to flee or stay. Then, from the corner of his eye, he thought he saw something move within the reflective surface, a fleeting shadow that seemed to mimic his movements but wasn't quite him. Chilled to his core, he grabbed his bike and backed away, his eyes never leaving the strange structure. He wasn't sure if he'd stumbled upon something abandoned, ancient, or from another world altogether, but he felt instinctively that whatever it wasn't meant to be found. As Andy rode back to town, the monolith faded into the fog behind him. He told no one of what he had seen, unsure if they would even believe him. But from that day forward, he avoided that part of the forest, haunted by the image of the monolith and the strange, shadowy figure he'd seen within its depths.